We both have very small hands. Yours are slightly larger.
No, everyone says my hands are big. I think they're big for my stature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
With your tiny legs?
Yeah, I'm a freak.
Winston has tiny legs. It's funny.
I do.
Hey everyone. So, we're Samurai Punk. My name's Nicholas. This is Winston. We're going to be doing this little series talking about how we started our company, our studio, and some of the games we made before the American Dream. So I didn't get into the degree I wanted to get into. I was going to do a fine art double degree with computer science at COFA in Sydney. And I needed to get an 85 to do that. I think it's the computer science side. And I got 71 on my ATAR.
Oh.
I know, right? Just not fun.
Shattered.
Yeah, I didn't study a whole lot in high school. I was too busy doing drugs and alcohol. When I was applying, I applied to a couple of other courses. So I applied for like fine art stuff in Sydney, but then I applied to game stuff in Melbourne because I was into games. And I was like, well, there's artists for games. And I kind of was like, at the time I was like, I had backed off on wanting to be a game developer because I was like, I'm gonna push this fine art thing. I'm gonna be a painter. I already had done a lot of painting at the time. And then I just didn't get into any of the courses. One, because I didn't turn up on time to one of them. And the other one was my enter score was too low. But I ended up getting into this college in Victoria, or college or university, to do a games and interactivity course. Didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, growing up, I was really, really into cartoons. I loved like watching Cheese TV. I was watching,
Dragon Ball Z.
stuff like Dragon Ball Z, the stuff on like ABC Kids as well. Yeah. Like growing up, I was like, I had aspirations like, I want to be like a cartoon artist or something. So I would like draw pictures all the time and like make my own comics and stuff. And that was really exciting to me because growing up, I wasn't actually exposed to very many video games because I guess my parents saw it as like a negative influence, like a distraction. So I never got like a game console or anything growing up. Over time, like my parents could shelter me from games only so much because then I would like go to friends' houses and stuff. It's like, oh, these are like cartoons, but like you can play them. Like you can be the character in the cartoon. Like this is fucking crazy. So I got really into games at that point, and I would like imagine the kind of games that I could make. I even like, I don't know if you ever did this, but there was a thing that I used to do where I would actually imagine like a game, and then I would like, I was still young when I did this, by the way. I was like between like 10 and like 12 years old. I would like get a box and then like draw like a box art and stuff on it, and like imagine there was a thing, and I got like a disc and I drew like disc art and shit. I really enjoyed that process. I was like, oh man, I made a game now.
That's really strange.
Fuck you. I was a kid. Back in high school in IT class, our teacher would often give us projects that were like make this small game. And that was really fascinating to me because it's like I had the interest and it's like, oh, here's an opportunity, I get to make something. So we made like really shit games in like
Flash.
Flash games, like Visual Basic. And I was like, oh man, this is so cool.
So
like, and like getting to write the code for it and like seeing those things come to life was really exciting for me because it's like, I'm actually getting down in there, making something out of nothing.
Yeah. That probably says a lot about my history then, because when I had to choose between IT or something else, I chose agriculture.
You want to be a farmer?
No, it was very pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Actually, also, I was told that the pass requirements were very low.
So when it came to year 12, when people were like, oh, you need to decide what course you want to apply for university, which is kind of like, oh, you study, but now all of a sudden, choose where the rest of your life is going to go. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't really have time to think about that. Like, I got like 12 sacks that I got to study for and shit. I wasn't really sure what field I would be interested in, but there was always a thought of like, hey, what if I could make games one day?
Development and like what I thought development was those dev diaries you watched. Like the Bungie, I used to watch all the Bungie ones because I'm one of the scrubs who bought the $200 Master Chief for Halo 3. The helmet that came with the documentaries.
Yeah, there's no shame in that.
Is there? It's $200.
I paid $250 for like a little plastic arm for like Metal Gear Solid 5.
I think that little plastic arm is a lot nicer than the Halo 3 helmet.
I don't know, it's pretty shit, I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so I went to Swinburne and I did the uni thing, the thing people do at uni, which is like study very little and drink a lot. It was second semester, second year, and it's a 3-year course. And this was the first game we were making. So we built this thing called Hippo's Inferno. It was basically just a platformer where you're a hippo, and it shot rainbows, and you were fighting the demon spawn of Stan.
Who was Stan?
He was an evil. The plot was something like Stan was an evil bullfinch. No, the bullfinch was your best friend because you're a hippo, obviously. Because we didn't even know each other really.
Yeah, no, barely. Like we'd bump into each other at like friends gatherings and stuff, but we didn't really. We were like vague acquaintances at most.
Yeah.
I remember my first impression of Nick was like, all right, I'm
Was
gonna
it at
work
my
with
house?
this guy. No. I'm gonna work with this guy on this like the narrative for this ARG.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then we go into the computer labs, and there he is, fucking sitting in his computer with a 6-pack of Canadian Club.
Oh yeah.
Like when we did the game jam together, we got a taste of like what real game development could be like.
Yeah.
You know, like create something from beginning to end.
Just keep it
very
small,
tight,
yeah.
concise, and then that really, I think, set our eyes on the target.
So, I heard about it because our mate Trent
Yep.
told me that he and Harry were going to be there. And these were just, one of them was a lecturer and the other guy was one of our friends. And they said they were going to be there. And I'm like, okay, well, seems fine. It's cheap. It was like $40 at the time. So I went. Neither of those two dudes showed up.
Yeah.
So I texted them. That's the best bit. The guys who I knew didn't go. And I texted one of them and he was like, oh no, they're not there, but you might remember Winston and Hadley.
Yeah.
They're there.
Yeah. I got visited by an alien and told me, this is your one chance. Don't stop to let it go. Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh, I can't remember how the song goes.
We should go eat lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Signing off.